Hello everyone, Chamansin here. Today I'd like to go over a quick tutorial on my Cacti Installation Wizard script. What this script is a way to get your server staged for Cacti. It will also download Cacti, either the latest version off their main branch or the release that you choose. It'll also tune MariahDB and install all the packages that you need, and download a few of the Cacti Groups plugins. And I'm working on adding more and more of those plugins so that it's contained in the one script and get you going as soon as possible. So I'll give you an example here. So I have a brand new CentOS system. So there's nothing on here except Git. So I went ahead and installed Git. So just git clone, and then the script. You can also wget the script that you want itself, or you can download everything. So obviously this is a CentOS system, so we're going to use a CentOS script. Run the script as root. That way the script has all the permissions it needs. So this is the main thing. What release do we want to download? So 1.2.3, for example, is a release version, or the current in development version 1.2.4. If you wanted that, you would just hit enter here. So let's hit enter and get the latest. Okay, just a quick note about downloading the latest version is that normally in those branches they are in development, so you could see some bugs in your installation. Now, one pain point that I notice a lot of questions I get, or how do I compile a spine, how do I get that going? So I built that into the script. So if you want to use spine as a polar, just hit 1. It'll automatically download all the dependencies that you need and go ahead and compile it for you. So I'm doing this in real time. So now it goes through all the make process in building the binary. It'll also enable the EPEL repos in CentOS to allow for PHP 7 installation. PHP 7 is the Cacti project is moving their code base to Cacti 7. So if you don't enable EPEL, you'll get like PHP 5.4, which is now end of life. So I made the script able to download PHP 7 plugins. Now, as you know, Cacti requires you to edit the time zone in your PHP file, so I've taken that into consideration. So if you want the default US Central, just hit enter or enter your PHP time zone. You can find your PHP time zone by going onto the PHP site or do a quick Google search. Example for me, I'm in Toronto, so it's America, Toronto. Okay, and hit enter. Okay. Now we'll get where we want to install Cacti. So var www.html would be the default here, so just hit enter. What user we want to run it under, so just accept the default. Now this is where you can either customize the database or use defaults that are built into the script. So if you use the defaults, the username, the database name is Cacti, username is Cacti, password is Cacti. If you don't want that, Just hit yes here. Enter DB name, say testing, username, password. That'll go ahead and create the database for you, pre-populated with the cacti.sql file, and grant all the time zone permissions that you need. Now, at the end, it's going to ask you if you want to download the monitor and thresholds plugin that are from the Cacti group. If you like that, just hit yes, and it'll go ahead and download the plugins for you, and then automatically move them to the directory that you need. Behind the scenes, what the script is not showing you is right now we've also assigned all the permissions needed for the Cacti directory in var www.html and created the log file, tuned MariahDB, all that stuff, so that if we do ipaddr show, just now the installation is complete. Now just go over to Cacti, and Cacti is ready to be installed via the admin window. So I'm just gonna change the password as required. Hit save. Okay. And as you can see, aside from the collation server recommendation and the MariahDB version, everything else has been applied for the recommended installation. Obviously, as your system grows, you have to reconsider some of these because max connections, if you have a really large installation, then you might need to increase that, bump that up. But these are recommendations, kind of guidelines from the Cacti group. And you can see that the date.time zone was set to America Toronto. The memory limit was increased to 400 megabytes, and so on and so on. Click next, next. Permissions are correct. Next. Okay, so enter the log path. So the default log path is var www html cacti log cacti.log, and next, next again. I'll just disable that for now. Next, next, confirm, and install. Another thing that the script does is goes over to etc cron.d, and there is a cron entry for Apache to use Apache. Now, if you use a different user other than the default user, that will change. So it'll create a cron entry for that user. Similarly, if you use a different user, say web server or cacti-user or something like that, it'll create the system user, and then we'll also assign the permissions for the Cacti installation to that user and set up the cron. And you'll see that Cacti is installed. Now, one of the last features that I'm working on, and I should have it up shortly, is user local spine, is the spine configuration file. So the script right now does not modify the spine.configuration file. So you'll have to go back to the spine.conf.dist file and edit the settings there. But then again, I have the code pretty much ready. I'm just testing it now, and I should have it posted to my GitHub soon. So I hope you find this helpful. Please give me your feedback. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thanks for watching.